Good morning, students. Welcome back to our English session. What are we going to do today? Today we are going to come across a beautiful, mysterious story. Yes, this is lesson number one from your new voice course book, A New House, written by Neil Gaiman. Now, do you want to know how this house looks like? Here we go. This is how the house looks like. Now, you must be wondering how it is related to a mysterious story. Let me give you some introduction. This story is about a little girl who is 11 years old and her name is Coraline Jones. Now, this particular girl is shifting from her old house to a new house. Now, students, we all know when we come across a new house, what are the problems that we face? Well, we don't have a lot of friends. We actually get bored. What to do? We are really feeling not good about whatever the things are happening. So, similarly, Coraline is also not happy and she's having a little bit of conflict with her parents because they are not paying attention to her queries or any kind of problems. Now, the story doesn't end here. Well, there is a closed door, and behind this closed door, there is a mysterious story. Now, come on, student, let us just see what is this story all about. But before we could go ahead with this, let us have some information about the author. Yes. Now, this is the author. All right, and what was the name of the author? It's Neil Gaiman. He was born in 1960 and this author is an English writer and he has introduced a lot of stories, and his stories have actually been published in magazines, and it has also been shown in a lot of films and TV and comics as well. Now he has a habit of writing the stories for all the age group. Children, he has got a lot of famous novels and which are really famous all over the world. And the few names are, yes, it's American Gods and The Graveyard Book. These two books are actually very famous. Now, this author, Neil Gaiman, has actually won a lot of awards, and these awards are actually very famous. So only the novelists get this kind of award, and it's Hugo Awards, Nebula, and Bram Stoker. Now let me tell you, students. Yes, these are the books. If you can go through these books, just see, have a look at it. Now let us understand what are the important characters from this particular story. Just look at this. This is a cute girl. Yes, she's Coraline. And right now in your story, there are three main characters: Coraline Jones, who is 11 years old, the small little cute girl, and there's one more character, Mrs. Jones. She's none other than Coraline's mother. And there's one more character, Mr. Jones. He is none other than Coraline's father. All right? All right, now student, let us start reading the lesson and understand what the author wants to say, and simultaneously we will come across a lot of keywords as well. So I would request you all to please take a pen and a book and please note down the important points. All right, now let us start the reading. That was how she spent her first 2 weeks in the house, exploring the garden and the grounds. Now, she means over here, yes, she means the character, and the name of the character is Coraline. Now, I repeat, that was how she spent her first 2 weeks. That means Coraline spent her first 2 weeks in the house. She was exploring the garden and the ground. Her mother made her come back inside for dinner and for lunch. And Coraline had to make sure she dressed up warm before she went out, for it was a very cold summer that year. But go out she did, exploring every day until the day it rained, when Coraline had to stay inside. What should I do? Asked Coraline. Over here, the author wants to say that her mother kept calling her inside again and again, come for the dinner or come for the lunch. Now, over here, Coraline had been wearing a warm cloth. The reason is during the summertime also it was very cold over there. The weather was really good. But after summer, immediately it turned out to be a rainy day. So because of lot of rain, she couldn't go outside now. So she was getting bored and she asked her mother, what should I do? Asked Coraline. Now students, let us go through this explanation first. There is a keyword over here, exploring. Now, as I said that Coraline was actually exploring her garden and ground. That means she was traveling to place of garden and ground. So, exploring means going and visiting some places. Alright, now let us see what her mother has to say. Read a book, said her mother. Watch a video. Play with your toys. Go and pester Miss Pink or Miss Forcible or the crazy old man upstairs. Okay, now her mother wants her to read the book or watch some videos, play with some toys, or she can actually go and disturb her two neighbors. The names are Miss Pink or Miss Forcible. Now these two neighbors stay downstairs and they have a lot of dogs. This is what is mentioned in the novel. And there is an old crazy man who stays upstairs, and this particular man is actually training mouse rats for the circus. Now mother wants Coraline to go and actually spend some time with the neighbors as well. Now let's see next. I don't really mind what you do, said Coraline's mother, as long as you don't make a mess. I repeat, I don't really mind what you do, said Coraline's mother, as long as you don't make a mess. So that means Coraline's mother wanted her to do whatever she feels like, but she shouldn't mess up the house. Alright? So, children, I think even your mother expects the same thing from you. That is, you can do whatever you want, but please don't mess up with the house, right? Now, let's read something more. Coraline went over to the window and watched the rain come down. It wasn't the kind of rain you could go out in. It was the other kind, the kind that threw itself down from the sky and splashed where it landed. It was rain that means business, and currently its business was turning the garden into a muddy, wet soup. Now, Coraline had watched all the videos. She was bored with her toys and she did read all her books as well. Now, the meaning is Coraline actually went over to the windows and watched the rain. She was actually getting bored because the rain was actually splashing like anything. That means it was raining very heavily and this complete garden was converted into a muddy wet soup. So that means she was not interested and no one was definitely going to allow her to go out and explore and play. Now, Coraline also watched all the videos. She was really bored with her toys and she kept on reading a lot of books also. So now she was actually not interested to sit at home. As I said, Coraline actually watched a lot of videos and she was really bored with her toys as well. She kept on reading a lot of books, but now she wanted to do something different. She turned on the television. She went from channel to channel, channel to channel, but there was nothing on but men in suits talking about the stock market and talk shows. Now she was watching the television and she went on changing the channel from channel to channel and she could just watch few men. They were talking about the stock market and lot of talk shows. Now, over here, student, what do you mean by stock market? Stock market means there are people who keep on talking a lot about business of buying and selling companies or a part or a portion of the company. And of course, at the age of 11, she was not interested to actually go through all these stock shows and the stock market. Now, let us see what she had done further. Alright, so eventually she found something to watch. Okay, what was that? Let us see. It was the last half of a natural program about something called protective coloration. So finally, she got a program to watch, and this was nothing but about something natural history where you can learn more about animals, birds, and insects. Now, let us see what she has to say further. She watched animals, birds, and insects which disguised themselves as leaves or twigs or other animals to escape from things that could hurt them. Alright, now disguised over here means to keep on changing the appearance or the sound. So she came across a lot of information on animals and birds, and she saw that the animals and birds they are escaping from certain things which could hurt them. So the program was actually meant only for the people who would love watching some information about animals and birds. Now, finally, she came across a channel and she enjoyed it, but it ended too soon and was followed by a program about a cake factory. Now, she came across a channel where they were teaching a recipe or a program about a cake factory. Of course, no, she was not interested in that as well. Now, student, I would like to ask you one question. Which subject that you study in school do you think make you or make up the matter of natural history? Definitely, you can just think on this topic. Your teachers are teaching you so many things. So, which is that particular subject which is actually taking you to the world of animals and birds? Yes, you can think on this topic. Okay. It was time to talk to her father. Now, Coraline went to her father. Coraline's father was home. Both of her parents worked doing things on computer, which meant that they were home a lot of time. Each of them had their own study. That means Coraline's mom and dad, they both were working from home. Okay, the way nowadays because of the lockdown, I think a lot of parents they are working from home. It could be your mom and dad as well. So, the same way Coraline's mom and dad, they were working from home. So, they definitely never wanted Coraline to come and disturb them. But still, her father wanted to talk to her. Okay, he said, "Hello, Coraline," he said when she came in without turning around. Said Coraline. "It's raining." "Yeah," said her father. "It's bucketing down." Now, children over here, bucketing down is a way to say it's raining heavily. That means Coraline's father wanted to say, yes, it's raining heavily. "No," said Coraline. "It's just raining. Can I go outside?" "What does your mother say?" "She says you're not going out in weather like that, Coraline Jones." All right. So Coraline said that mother actually said no to go out and explore. "Then no," said her father, "if your mother has given you the told you not to go outside, then surely you're not supposed to go." "But I want to carry on exploring," she said. "I want to please carry on my exploration. Tell me, what should I do?" "All right, then explore the flat," suggested her father. "Look, here's a piece of paper and a pen. Count all the doors and windows. List everything blue. Mount on expedition to discover the hot water tank and leave me alone to work." Now, Coraline's father gave her a task. He told her, take a pen and a paper, count all the doors and the windows, and list everything which is in blue color, and she can go on discovering the hot water tank. And he suggested her to please leave him alone because he was doing a lot of work. Now Coraline was actually very much confused, but still she thought, okay, it's a good idea and let us do that. Now children, over here, expedition means uh, taking a task for a particular purpose. So, as Coraline's father said, you can mount on expedition to discover the hot water tank. That means she has taken the journey to actually complete her work. Can I go into the drawing room? The drawing room was where the Jonases kept the expensive and uncomfortable furniture Coraline's grandmother had left them when she died. Coraline wasn't allowed in there. Nobody went in there. It was only for the best. Now, what do you mean by this? Well, Coraline wanted to know whether she can actually go to the drawing room. Now, as her father said, drawing room was actually for, the very expensive and, furniture which was given by Coraline's grandmother. So when she died, she had told them that these are very expensive things and please take care of those things. So these all things were actually kept in the drawing room. So he never wanted Coraline to actually go and explore over there because it was supposed to be used only for the best. All right. She said, if you don't make a mess and you don't touch anything. Coraline considered this carefully. Then she took the paper and a pen and went off to explore the inside of the flat. Now, Coraline's father told her, I don't mind you going over there, but please don't make a mess and don't touch anything. Coraline considered this and then she took a pen and a paper and she went to explore whatever task was given by her father. She discovered the hot water tank. Well, it was in the cupboard in the kitchen. She counted everything which was in blue and the total came to 153. She counted the windows, it was 21. She counted the doors, it was 14. All right. Now, of the doors that she found, 13 opened and closed. The other, the big carved brown wooden doors at the far corner of the drawing room was locked. Now, total she found 13 doors which were actually opened and closed. Now, there were few of them which was carved with a brown wooden door and it was actually locked. She said to her mother, where does the door go? Nowhere, dear. It has to go somewhere, she said. Her mother said, nowhere. Well, but she said, definitely it has to go somewhere. Her mother shook her head. Look, she told Caroline. She reached up and took a string of keys from the top of the kitchen door frame. She sorted through them carefully and selected the oldest, biggest, blackest, rustiest key. They went into the drawing room. She unlocked the door with the key. Now, Caroline's mother wanted to show her that where exactly, the door goes. So she took the key, and the key was actually the very big and black and rustiest key. She took it from the kitchen and she unlocked it and she wanted to show Caroline where exactly this door goes. The door swung open. Her mother was right. The door didn't go anywhere. It opened onto a brick wall. Now, when the door was opened, there was nothing. There was just a wall of a brick. So, yes, her mother was right. The door doesn't go anywhere. When this place was just one house, said Coraline's mother, that door went somewhere. When they turned the house into flat, they simply bricked it up. Her mother said that initially this door was going somewhere, but when they shifted over here, they did little bit of renovation in the house, and this particular door was actually been closed with a brick of a wall. All right, students. So I think we need to, end our session here itself. So before we could wrap up, just let us go through the recap. All right. Now just listen to the short summary till now whatever we have done. So Caroline and her parents, they move into a new apartment which is located to an old house. Now that Caroline actually met her two neighbors also, and what are the names of the neighbors? Yes, it's Miss Spink and Miss Forcible, and there was also a crazy old man. Now, in her world, in the beginning of the story, we came across that Caroline views herself as a great explorer and she wants to explore various things. But she's completely bored. The reason is it was raining a lot outside. Although her parents are at home, but most of the time she finds herself lonely and dissatisfied. The reason is they are being at home, but they are not actually, getting time to pay attention to her queries or any kind of a problem. Now, since she's getting bored, she's thinking of exploring certain things at home. Now, she is going to go in completely imagination world. Not students, we will be learning about her imagination and how does Caroline have happy ending for this particular story. We are going to finish this off in our next session. So see you all. Just take care of yourself and stay safe.